right, so for the third one, we're actually going to go overseas. We had a Breeders' Cup winning year in for the turf race, the King George VI and the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, a Group 1 event, which, by the way, next year is going to be the richest race in Europe, a £2 million purse. But the win here for Calandagan, yes, the horse was the favorite, but last of 5, you have Rebels Romance and the Godolphin Blue on the rail. You have 2 horses for Aidan O'Brien, including a Royal Ascot winner who beat Calandagan over this course last time out. You have a filly that's got the lead for the Juddmonte Colors, who's a likely early favorite for the Arc de Triomphe. And watch Calandagan just dig and dig and dig, and is going to overpower everyone. Rebels Romance is going to get a hard-fought third, kind of a rough-luck third. I don't know that he's in that photo for the win. But the top 3 finishers, if any of them, Joaquin, come to Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup, including Calandagan, who earned that berth to the turf race, they're strong top contenders. I don't care who else is coming from the United States. If Calandagan goes to Breeders' Cup turf, that should be your favorite based on that race.
You know, one race he wouldn't go to, it would be the Arc. He is a gelding. Geldings are excluded from running in one of the most prestigious races in the world in the Arc de Triomphe. And you saw those familiar colors in the Aga Khan. They've had past Breeders' Cup success in the turf. Kalanisi would certainly come to mind 20-plus years ago or so out there at Churchill Downs. So Calandagan winning the King George is going to be the 3rd star for you. What do you do for number 2?
Number 2, Nysos, stretching out in the Grade 2 San Diego Handicap. Now, the race itself, was it the deepest field? No. You had Dr. Venkman, last year's winner, kind of tucking tail and hiding to the Bing Crosby. But it's the fact that he had to stick behind Amir Ahmadi, who went to the lead for Bob Baffert. Flavien Prat never panics. He stuck in behind him all the way through the turn, gets opening, and watch Nysos accelerate and keep extending his lead. You watch his movement, his powering home in the stretch, never touched Flavien Prat, just shaking the reins at him. Mile and a quarter Pacific Classic, that's the next test. That's the big question. Can he go a mile and a quarter? Right now, this is my number 2 horse in the Breeders' Cup Classic division.
108 Beyer speed figure in the Triple Bend 2 starts back, follows it up with a 102 Beyer with his victory in the Grade 2 San Diego. All right. 3-year-old division? Number 1?
Of course. How can you not put Sovereignty number 1? Now, the Jim Dandy stacked up against him. A lot of things going against him in there. Small field. Didn't have the pace up that he usually likes. Mile and a 16th. Clearly not the distance that a multiple classic winner would want to do. And yet, none of this was a problem. Let's watch the start here for Sovereignty. A 5-horse field. Clearly, the 3 Moplex is going to be forwardly placed. And watch, Junior Alvarado doesn't push him. This horse is so talented, he puts himself into the early pace right away. He's going to out-hustle the other horses, then kind of take back a little bit. And we saw this in the Belmont as well, that Junior Alvarado did this, where the horse was forward, and then on the back stretch, kind of eased him back a little bit because Junior knows Sovereignty loves a target. We fast forward all the way to the back stretch going into the far turn. Clearly still a lone leader here. Baeza, 3rd behind Sovereignty in both the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont Stakes. Reunites with Hector Berrios. All of these things. Everybody's trying to stack things against Sovereignty, and yet Joaquin, he's just so good. I would go out to say this is one of the best 3-year-olds in the last 20 years that we have seen in Sovereignty. In terms of his talent, I know he lost the Florida Derby, but in terms of his pure talent, I put him up there with American Pharaoh, with Justify. I mean, if you put him, it's impossible to do because they're 7 years apart. Justify on the lead with Sovereignty coming at him with that as his target in a mile and a quarter race. I couldn't sit here right now and tell you who I think wins.
Just looking at this race here from the top of the stretch alone of the Jim Dandy, it's eerily similar to the Belmont Stakes.
Yes.
Wide on the far turn, out in the clear, moving powerfully down the stretch, and look at Junior Alvarado. All right, we're saving something here for the Midsummer Derby. Yep. He did exactly what he needed to do in the Jim Dandy just to get him to the Travers Stakes. And the fact that he has a new dimension and a new running style is bad news for everybody else, because when you look at the way he started his year, and even early on in his career, but just specifically his 3-year-old year, when you look at the Fountain of Youth, and then you look at the Florida Derby, and even the Kentucky Derby on the first Saturday in May, that's a different beast. I understand that, with a fast pace and a big field. But the fact that he can be tactical and be close to the pace and not be pace dependent and avoid trouble from the back of the pack, That is really bad news for everybody else.
It's scary if you're trying to beat him. And right now, I think the only horse in the country that's left that has a chance to beat him is Nysos. And he still needs to answer the Mount a Quarter question. It's going to come in the Del Mar Pacific Classic.
All right, so Calandagan in the King George, Nysos in the San Diego, and Sovereignty gets his second half of the season started off on a winning note in the Jim Dandy. We will see him next in the Midsummer Derby in the Travers Stakes.